feel to be the recipient of this year's JM Barrie Award, and will you be doing anything special to celebrate your success?
Well, I began by having a very nice lunch with my brother and my wife. That's the start of it. What happens later, I don't know, but I expect I'll drink a glass of something when I go home. It feels as if I've been invited to join a special club, a club of those who've won this award before. Enormously talented people, people of great merit in all sorts of ways, craftspeople and artists. It's a great honour, and I'm really delighted with it.
What advice would you give to young children learning to write stories?
What advice should I write a story? Well, read. That's a good start. Read everything you can. Read everything you can come across, everything you can find in the library or in a Oxfam shop or wherever. Read and read and read. But if I have to tell somebody to read because they're not ready already, they're probably not going to be particularly interested in writing. When it comes to actually doing the stuff, don't start with short stories. Short stories are very difficult. I think Ernest Hemingway said that you have to write 5 novels before you're ready to write a short story. And I think he's absolutely right. I found short stories terribly hard. You have to arrange things on such a small scale, in such a small compass, and make it all work, and it's terribly difficult. Write a novel, they're much easier, they're very loose and baggy, you can get lost, it doesn't matter. You can put them away for a week and it doesn't matter. But do remember that if you want to finish a novel, as distinct from starting a novel, you have to be prepared to work when you don't feel like it. You have to be prepared to be bored by what you're doing. You have to work when you're not inspired. A lot of people who don't write think that if only they were inspired, they could write. It's not like that at all. Inspiration will come to you when you're working. It doesn't come to you when you're not. If the muse is going to visit you, she needs to know where you are. So go to your desk. That's where your address is as far as the muse is concerned. That's pretty good advice. Oh, another piece of advice. Don't listen to advice. Don't listen to advice. There are 1 or 2 publishers among the audience here this afternoon, and I love them all dearly. But what publishers want, most of all, is a book that was sold as many as the bestseller of last year. So the advice that sometimes is given to writers is look at what the market wants, look at what people want to read. My advice is quite the opposite. Take no notice of what anybody thinks they want to read, because they don't want to read your book because you haven't written it yet. So write your book and do it as well as you possibly can, and do it with all your heart and all your mind and all your strength, and then they won't be able to resist it. So,
my next question was, what was your favourite book when you were a boy?
This is a question I find very difficult to answer because I love them all. I loved every kind of book, from Noddy to Agatha Christie to Dr. Zhivago when that came out. I remember I was in my early teens and I read it avidly. I read them all and I love them all. But thinking back on it, one of my favourite books, the book I loved the most, was a little red book about that big enough to go into your pocket anyway. I've still got it, and the cover's falling off, and it's very tattered. It was an atlas, a little pocket atlas, and I used to study this thing, hours on end, looking at all the shapes of the countries and imagining what it would be like to sail down the coast of Norway or to walk across Central Asia with the great deserts and the mountains. I spent hours and hours with that book. It didn't tell me any stories, but I told myself the stories, and they helped me in thinking them through, bringing them to life. So That was really my favourite book.
Saying that the Atlas was your favourite book, would that suggest, who would suggest to be your favourite author?
Well, of course, the Atlas is a work of fiction, as all members of the Flat Earth Society. My favourite author, well, now or when I was a child? It's a very difficult question. There are so many, aren't there? My list of authors I like and enjoy and buy books by ranges from Lee Child on the one side to Tolstoy on the other. Though where on the spectrum that everybody else comes, I don't know. Well, I put them at the end of it. I don't know. My favourite author. Oh, that's terribly hard. Terribly hard. I'll tell you my favourite poet, and that's William Blake. I love the English Romantic poets. I know a lot of their work by heart, and that's something we should all do as well. Keep our brains alive as the shades gather, and the shadows tend towards... Anyway. Learn poems! Learn poems. They'll stand you in very good stead. Poetry, there we are.
And finally, what is the greatest thing that you have ever done, but never been given credit for?
The greatest thing I've ever done, but never got credit for. Well, I invented the vacuum cleaner. I've never got the credit for that. I don't know, I can't answer that. I suppose when I'm mouldering in the grave, somebody might remember something I did or something I said to them or something like that. I don't know. I think I'm very grateful to what Amanda said about Clockwork, which I think is the book which will probably last the longest of mine. So if my gravestone says Philip Pullman, author of Clockwork, this is where he wound up.